Is 20 seconds. 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Okay. Rep your city. Let me see the mic. Rep your city. Give me the mic. Rep your city. I got you. Rep your city. I'm gonna tell you how mine. Rep your city.
It's time for us to go live, so rep your city. I really would appreciate if y'all roll with me. Feeling this music cause it makes me wanna step. And if you don't want to, then you lying to yourself. Cause every time we party, we gon' have fun. I don't know about you, but I'ma rep where I'm from.
Rep your city. Okay. Rep your city. Let me see the mic. Rep your city. Give me the mic. Rep your city.
Welcome to the RYC Live Show. This is your boy Artistic, and you are now watching RYC Live, Rep Yo City. Yes, and welcome to Fresh Fridays. I am Artistic, your host for tonight, and we are back once again with another episode of RYC Live, Fresh Fridays. We want to thank everyone for tuning in as usual. Thank you for showing love and support over the many episodes that we have been broadcasting. Today is Friday, August 12th. It's a nice evening in Chicagoland. Summertime still underway. And we got a special guest tonight, as usual. We try to do our best with bringing the best of the best right here on the platform. But before I bring them on, I'd like to just encourage everyone, if you have not done so already, please do share the broadcast, subscribe to our channel, RYC Live. Our YouTube channel is RYC Live. And if you like this programming, you can definitely send us a donation to RYC Live at our Cash App. Our Cash App is RYC Live. You can also follow us on Facebook at RYC Live or Rep Your City. Send us a friend request or follow us. Continue to keep in contact and connect with us. And tonight, as you watch this broadcast, engage with us. Post some questions, post some comments, show some love, show some support. We don't do this enough. We just got a chance to celebrate yesterday in New York City, Hip Hop National Day, August 11th. Thanks to all of the city of New York and all of the pioneers from New York doing their thing over the years. Yesterday constituted 49 years since the first party that DJ Kool Herc and his sister Cindy threw. So shout out and much love and respect to them brothers. Hip hop is now global. So with that being said, I'd like to introduce our special guest tonight. This is a man who's been around. I met him back in the 90s doing his thing. Very unique, very intellectual. You know what I'm saying? He's like a superhero to many, I'm sure. Very, very lyrical. You know what I'm saying? The group that he come from is definitely, in my opinion, like a group of superheroes. Once again, I mean, the music, the intricacies of the content and the flow, the style, it's definitely unique to Chicago as usual. It doesn't surprise me because Chicago, we've been doing this type of thing for many, many, many years. It's shocking to other people outside of the city because, like him and I just was talking about before this broadcast, they just can't understand it. But it's time for people to start beginning to learn how to understand. How do you find out about a subject matter? Well, you go get a book, you read about it, you study it, you begin to understand it, dissect it if you have to. You know what I'm saying? See how parts of it moves and makes it operate. Just like a machine. You sometimes when machines break down, you gotta dig into the depths of that machinery to kind of figure out how this thing functions, and put it back together to make it work again. Right. So hip hop is very, very much the same. The essence and the foundation of hip hop is very potent. It's very, people have to understand that hip hop started from nothing. So that means that creative people had to think from their minds and their hearts how to come up with something from nothing, almost like magic, right? So when you ain't got nothing and you're thinking of what you can do with little that you do have, and then yet you create something out of nothing, that's pretty much magic, basically. And hip hop, that's the fundamentals, that's the foundation of it. We created a whole culture from poverty. And yet today, it is the number one genre of music, the number one fashion, the number one culture in terms of the elements that it possesses. And I mean, it definitely has the market sold up all the way. Everybody wants to have a part of hip hop today. So with that being said, I'm going to introduce and we're going to get into some history and some stories, Chicago style. This is my brother. He goes by the name of Mo, inmate number 4. You know what I'm saying? From the RubbeRoom clan. Let's bring him on, my brother Mo.
What's up? What's up? How you feel?
Yes, sir. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the RYC Live Show.
All right. All right. Good stuff, man.
Yes,
Good
sir.
stuff.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man.
I love the font and everything. The Fresh Fridays and the
Yes,
the
sir.
lake, the water, the magnificent blue and everything. It's amazing. I think it's awesome.
Thank you.
Truly
Thank you.
is.
Hey, thank you, man. Hey, listen, we do this for us, by us. And, and as you said, we try to just have a good time, man. Tell our stories.
Indeed. Indeed. This is what we do.
Yes, sir. So
it's a very go ahead.
So I was going to say, so let's get right into this because, a lot of times, sometimes people say, well, I don't know if I'm even have enough to say. But once, once you get to talking, time just fly by.
Indeed. Indeed.
So let's go all the way back for you to the beginning. Tell the people where you come from originally in Chicago.
Well, I was born in Inglewood, 6834 South Perry, right next door to Kennedy King College, which was somewhat of my playground. I went to Parker Elementary grade school, right next to Paul Robeson. Okay. I remember back in them days when the gangsters and the Stones, wear their pea hats, you know what I'm saying, cocked and everything, the Pittsburgh Pirate hats.
Mm-hmm.
And they would, that's before the gunplay was ridiculous. And the baddest dude on the block was the dude who could whoop the most ass. You know what I'm saying? And he earned that title. So I came from Inglewood, and it was bad back then. Right. So from Inglewood, like around 10 years of age, I moved to the burbs out in Maywood, out in the woods. And that's like, that's Cooley High, man. The girls was pretty, and it was grass and trees, and it was a good place, man. And that's where it all began, out in the woods, as far as me and hip hop and everything,
That's what's up. So let's get a time step on you. Basically, when you started, like what year and what was going on during that time?
All right. Basically, when I started, more or less, I always wrote. I love to write. In high school, guys knew I was good with the words and everything. Guys would have me write letters to their girlfriends, sometimes and whatnot, because I was good with the words. And I always liked to write. And when I was a little kid, I even did Michael Jackson in the talent show one time. I did a spin and grabbed my scrotum and jumped on my toes. And everybody loved that, you know what I'm saying? And I liked the rush and the thrill of a crowd, you know what I'm saying? I had the little beaded jacket and everything. It was awesome, man, I love that. You know, Mike was the man back then. You know, it's a long time ago. And but I always like to write. And next thing you know, I heard Run DMC. And me and my boy Derek Hubbard would sometimes, you know, when I got into high school and stuff, we buy 40s or OE and we drink them, and then we, you know, we was young men, you know what I'm saying, trying to find themselves. And we'd be like pantomiming, you know, to Run DMC, and I'd be Run and he'd be DMC. Rest his soul, D. That's my man. And basically that led to me writing rhymes, you know, because I was writing already and I like to write poetry. So then I made the relation, of course, to, you know, poetry to hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was, you know, 6 in the morning from Ice-T and everything else. But one night, or one day rather, this is how I got into hip hop. My mother told me to go get a loaf of bread, a gallon of milk, and a newspaper early in the morning. So I went to the store. I saw my boy, Brian Reeves. Brian was a rather resourceful young man, to say the least, with making money, okay? Him and my man, Big G, drove up in a 98, you know, brand spanking new and everything with the rims and stuff. Yo, Lil B, what you doing? You know? Because that's what they call him. My name Brian. And his name was Brian. But I was Little B, he was Big B. I said, nothing. I just came from the store, man, for my mom and whatnot. He like, get in, man. Come on, let's go. So the next thing you know, we all over the city. North side, west side, east side, downtown, up north, out west, everything out south, and then back out west. And it was around 9:30. He said, I'm in the back seat. The bread is smashed. The milk is hot. The newspaper all over the back seat. You know what I'm saying? We chiefing and everything, right? And he said, check this out. And he put in a tape cassette, because that's when it was tape cassettes back in that day. And the first thing I heard, whoa, wait 1 second, was bump, bump. Yes, the rhythm, the rebel. Without a pause, I'm low in my level, the hard rhymer. You know what I'm saying? When I heard Chuck, my mind was totally blown. It was just like, what the hell is this? It was Public Enemy. And it ain't been the same since. I said, I knew this is something I have to do. That's it. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Wait 1 second.
The passion, y'all, the passion.
Please forgive this. I have to make sure that everything is the way that it needs to be before we get into this incredible story, hip hop, and its manifestations. I had a little technical difficulty there. I had to straighten that out. Please forgive me for my unprofessionalism, everyone. Had to get everything back in order.
Yes, sir.
We almost had a Houston. You know, we have a problem moment and everything, but you know, don't worry. Metamo came through. Everything's okay. We got everything under control. Houston, everything is fine. But yeah, as I was saying, man, yo, when I first heard Chuck, that is what did it for me.
Okay.
I was totally sold. Okay. And I knew at that moment in time that this was something that I had to do. Yes. It was no way that I could live and not do that. It was it was earth-shattering. Needless to say, when I got home, And I was living with my mother at the time. Of course, I was a young man. She smacked me in the head, you know what I'm saying? You know, because I had a gallon of warm milk and bread that was crushed and a newspaper that was unreadable. You know,
Right.
I didn't care. It didn't make a difference. I heard Chuck D,
Yeah.
and that's who got me into hip hop. Chuck D. No joke.
Now let me just ask, just as a reference, what was this, the late 90s?
Yes. No, in fact, it was like the mid.
Oh, okay.
It was like the early 90s.
Okay,
in fact.
Early
It was
90s.
the early 90s. It was the early 90s. It had to be like, let's say 93, 94.
Gotcha.
Something like that.
Gotcha.
And from that point on, I started just writing. I would sit in my room, listen to Run DMC, listen to, you know, the guys who were out at that time, Rakim, KRS-One, and see my background as far as hip hop, man, was a lyrical one. And then I got it from guys who were saying powerful stuff, man. Rakim, KRS-One, Chuck D. You think I'm gonna start rhyming about it? I'm walking down the street, smacking my girl, went to the, no, man, it's intricacies, all the lyricism with everything. You know what I'm saying? And at that point in time, I knew that I had to write something that said something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? On the real, you're not gonna get that, you know, ABC nursery rhyme stuff from me.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought. You know what I'm saying? On the real, that's how it started. And it was around that time that that I basically started to actually writing rhymes. You know?
Okay. Nice. Now, at that time, you were in Maywood, right?
Yep. It was at 506 South 2nd in Washington, to be in fact, right across the street from Proviso East High School, which was my high school. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where I graduated from. And after I got out of high school, you know, I figured that I wanted to do something in entertainment. I just didn't know what exactly. But when I heard Chuck, that's when I made the jump. I knew what I wanted to do.
Gotcha. Okay, so let's talk about the forming or the developing of you as an artist, as an MC,
Mm-hmm.
and the developing of eventually what became known as your crew.
Okay, as RubbeRoom.
Yes.
All right. Well, basically, after I started, you know, writing and everything else, I was friends with Kevin Johnson and a guy named Chauncey Arnold. Chauncey Arnold basically was Wittitude. You know, that's the guy that you would see on the credits for Gothic Architecture, which was our first joint, basically, that we did as a collective. I would come over Chauncey's house, and me and him would work on songs. You know, he would make tracks. He had a board and whatnot. He had some gear, and he would make beats, and I would write rhymes. You know, this was during the time of around like Lower Links with Dero. You know what I mean? Who was a staple in the hip hop community in Chicago. That's my big brother. I love him. You know, with Dem Dare on the real. Chauncey's Wittitude's cousin, John Bostic, aka Lumber, Dom the Song Blackwood, was actually doing the same thing with Kevin Johnson and Aaron Smith at the time. He was also doing something with another guy. Lumber was doing something with someone else at that time. I forgot my man's name. He is one of my good friends in music. Wow, you got to forgive me. I've smoked a lot of weed over these years, and my memory isn't so on point. But you know what I'm saying? He basically was doing something with someone else, but then he ended up, Wittitude's cousin, Lumber, ended up doing something with Kevin Johnson. and Aaron Smith. And that's Phantom, aka Mr. Echoes, and Aaron Smith, aka Isle of Weight. And those two dudes currently are the force behind what we call, or what they call, Opus. You know, just a totally dope, you know, music, just straight up Magnus Opus of music, actually. You know, but yeah, and then considering we were so all close and we were from the woods, you know what I mean? We would get together and we would go to Lower Lakes. I would do stuff, you know what I'm saying, with Widitude's production, with Chauncey Arnold's production, and Lumber would do stuff with Aaron and Kevin's production. Okay? And eventually we just said, you know what? We're all from the same, you know, hood. We all, you know each other. Why don't we bring it together? Okay? And then we said we needed another member. And we ran into Michael Gilmore, aka Spo. And Spo was from Texas. He was an Army brat. He moved around a lot and stuff like that. And he would be coming down there. And we seen Spo rhyming. We said, man, dude is dope. You know what I'm saying? And he liked what we were doing. And one day we told him to come, you know, to the basement where we would rehearse. And that's when we were formed. And that's when the Sabbath 6, Double R6 took place. 3 MCs, 3 producers on the real. And that's how we basically all hooked up.
Okay, and for the viewers or those that may not be familiar with who these individuals are, could you list the names of the members, the MCs and the
Yes. Okay, the 2 MCs, that's John Bostic. That's Lumber. Lumber Don Rassam Blackwood. Michael Gilmore. That's Spo, the Supreme Poetical Orator. Chauncey Arnold at that time, who was with the group, because later he had left. And Chauncey Arnold, Widitude, aka Phil Spector. Then Kevin Johnson, producer, also Phantom, aka Mr. Echoes. And then Aaron Smith, aka Isle of Weight. That's the lineup right there. And me, myself, of course, you know, Morpheus, you know, the wolf, the blowtorch, metamorphosis, you know? Yeah, Brian Hines. Yeah.
Now, you all also played this little thing like Inmates, and you all had numbers. Where did that concept come from?
Well, I mean, like, basically, you know, we looked at it, you know, the name RubbeRoom came from my concept. You know, the other guys have different concepts, but my concept basically, or the overall thing, was that the world is insane. It's a big insane asylum. And the men who run it, the politicians and the power dons, the billionaires, they're like the doctors of an insane asylum. And they're the ones who distribute the drugs and everything to keep the inmates of the insane asylum crazy. You know what I'm saying? In the world, everyone in the world are inmates in this asylum, you know? And all of the power dons and the men in the high places, those are all the doctors, pumping the narcotics in to make us think that we're crazy. But in actuality, they're the insane ones. But it's a rubber room, you know? So that's where we basically came up with the name, from that sentiment. And we said, okay, you know, inmates got numbers. You know what I mean? On the real. My real number is K95177. You know what I'm saying? On the real, I'll always remember that number, you know? But, you know, we all had numbers. Mine was number 4, you know? Because you got the 3 producers, you know, 1, 2, 3. I'm the 4th, the beginning of the MC aspect of it.
Okay.
4, 5, 6, double RS6, RubbeRoom Savage 6. So before that word savage came in, we was all on that. You know what I mean? On the real, straight up.
Nice. Interesting. And for the record, man, I just want to make sure we clear with what you mentioned earlier for those that may be wondering. We were talking about Run DMC, and we just want to be clear that we're referring to Jam Master Jay, you know, when you were saying, you know, rest in peace, Jam Master Jay, because DMC and Run are still well alive and doing good. So,
right.
And those were that was like one of my favorite groups from back in the day, you know what I'm saying? Run DMC. And as you was mentioning earlier, you know, that they were like the epitome, you know, of
everything.
Yeah.
You know, of everything hood at the time. You had these dudes who rocked Adidas and black leather jackets and black pants and had on Davas, you know what I'm saying? Run DMC. Run DMC. Wow. You know, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? On the real. They're always fucking fresh, never be stale. You know, it took a test to become an MC and didn't fail. You know what I mean? Man, on the real, no joke. That's Run DMC, man. You know? And that's the thing, just real quick. It's something that the young ones, they make the tragic mistake of not paying homage to the ones who created the thing that get them the money that they making.
Yeah.
You don't understand that. You're supposed to always pay homage. You gotta pay homage. Somebody said, I forgot what rapper said, Kool Herc ain't received a royalty check. You know what I'm saying? On the real. Straight up. Kool Herc, speaking of Kool Herc, man, on the real, no joke. Everybody should be dropping that dude, shouldn't be wanting for nothing, man. He shouldn't be wanting for nothing. With all the many millions that all the rappers make, each one of them should be like, man, Duke on the real, he go 100 grand, he go $1 million for Kool, man, for her.
Yeah.
On the real. Though that man shouldn't want for anything. With all the money that everyone's making from something that he created in the park. You know what I'm saying? On the real. No joke.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's just interesting, man, how it has continued to develop over the years. And, you know, that just reminds me, I would like for you, if you can, to break down how you all form the elements of nature. Because I remember back in the 90s when I would hear the term used, I still was trying to figure out what was that exactly. It's almost like when over on the East Coast, they had the native tongues, you know, and they had these various crews that made up the native tongues, right? So for those that may not know, in Chicago, you know what I'm saying, we had the elements of nature. So how did that become what that became?
Well, I basically, once we all start Spillane's, Cool Out Chris, my man, you know, Cool Out Chris, Tony Baines, KC, man, what is his name? Riff Raff. What is it, Riff Raff? I forgot his name. He gonna punch me in the face. I forgot he gonna punch me in the face. TK. You know, these guys from Spillane. Spillane Mac, excuse my French, Spillane Mac niggas. On the real. No joke. They was dope. And they was from, like, you know, some Bellwood, you know, Broadview, Maywood hookup. On the real, they was dope. once we started making way, and we from Maywood, and it was other people out in Maywood like Spillani's and other cats from farther in the western suburbs, even as Waukegan.
Okay.
And other people, Children of Reality, Indigenous Theory, Thoughtful, Buddha, Verb, Gravity. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
These people, we got together, man, and basically I knew that it was something that we had to have as a collective with all of us doing music.
Right.
So I thought, I thought and I said, what's forever? I said, what's forever? Something that's forever. You know, and I said eons.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought the breakdown of it, elements of nature.
Mm.
You know, that's forever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, wind, fire, earth, water. You know what I'm saying? Elements of nature is forever. It's powerful. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when we got together, it was a family unit like that. And Dirty MF, you know what I'm saying? On the real, another eon, you know what I'm saying? On everything. And we had a house, 1124 North Austin. It was right off of Division. Young men, producers, and MCs with a house. It was like a hip-hop animal house.
Mm-hmm.
It was debauchery, and it was beats, and it was rhymes, and it was all kinds of stuff going on in that house, man. On the real, it's a legend. On the real, everybody used to come through. No joke. Weekends come through. There was a party 24/7, all day, every day. You got Tone. You got Tone in a room. You know what I'm saying? Making beats. You got Chris in a room somewhere making beats. Somewhere I'm writing rhymes somewhere. You got, Grab coming through. Zeke, coming through. You got Verb, Buddha. You got Children of Reality. You got Thoughtful. You got Dirty MF. You got everybody coming through. No joke. And it was just a collective, man. And we all basically was on this music thing, man. And we loved doing, what we was doing. Hip hop drove us. It you know what I'm saying? That was our culture. And we held it down for Chicago in that aspect. And you know what I'm saying? On the real, it's all about the music, man. That's it.
We got a comment coming in from Cordell. He said you preached it on the 1124 student.
Exactly. That's Cordell right there. Cordell is one of the Spillane Mac Negroes and whatnot. That brother, Rip Rap, man, on the real was dope. Spaghettis and biscuits. I remember when I seen him down at Lower Links doing their thing, man. Those was our brothers. Those are our brothers. Mm-hmm. Forever. Until this day, we still all collectively know and remember and consider ourselves that unit. And it's been talk about us possibly coming together and doing an album and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? That may take place. It may not. But the memories show was good. No joke, man.
Yeah. That's what's up. Well, listen, man. What we'd like to do right now is take a quick commercial break, and
indeed,
we'll be back. But and when we come back, we're gonna pick up where we left off. I want to talk about some of your projects, like the first album, the first Gothic Architecture, and other projects that followed, and then your style as an artist, and work our way on up until what you got going on today. So
I'm totally down with that.
Yes, sir. So you're watching the RYC Live show, and we will be right back. Oh, let me do one thing real quick. Got some music playing in the background. That's the Gothic Architecture. All right. So let's take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Indeed.
If you want to see them, make sure they see you. Local to Global is a full-service film video production and marketing company that emphasizes on high-quality, brand-focused content to boost brand awareness through marketing, advertising, and broadcast media. Everyone has a story. Let us tell yours. We are Local to Global Production.
Welcome back to the RYC Live Show. I am Artistic, your host for tonight, and we have our special guest, Mo, inmate number 4 from RubbeRoom. So let's talk about it, man. I actually have in my possession here original cassette tape from 1995. You know what I'm saying? Elastic recordings. And, back in the day when we was coming up, we collected albums and cassettes and then CDs and so on and so forth. But I used to always like, and this actually, I'm glad it didn't get fully destroyed, but this actually got a little wet, so it kind of damaged some of the tape information in here. But I still have it, and I remember I used to play this in my car. You know what I'm saying? Put the cassette in the car and just drive along throughout Chicago. You guys were really interesting, man, as a group. Coming up with the title Gothic Architecture. Chicago is very much known for architecture. I actually went to school for architecture. I thought I was going to become one, but I was so delved and caught up in the web of hip hop.
Right. It does that. It'll take your whole, switch your whole thing. Thought you was gonna go over here and be like an Air Force, Navy, you know what I'm saying? Just whoop, you know what I'm saying? Make a left turn. Hip hop come and just take your life over, man, on the real. It's big like that, you know? That's how it impacts. Yeah. On the real. No joke, man. Seriously.
So talk about the concept and the idea behind that first private album that you all did. What was going on in you guys' head when you came up with that?
Well, we knew instantaneously off the bat that we were not, I repeat, we were not going to be the type of group that you were going to hear on rotation on radio stations. We knew that because our concept matter was dark. It was nothing happy-go-lucky about our stuff. You know what I'm saying? We dealt with issues of a spiritual nature almost. Heaven, hell, God, the devil. Inner city urban conditions, drugs, murder, witches and warlocks, evil stuff, godly stuff, gothic. There you go. You know what I'm saying? So we knew from the jump that the very nature of what we wanted to do was from the onset. You know what I mean? On the real. I mean, cuts like High Noon, RubbeRoom, Breakout. You know what I'm saying? Breakout on that Breakout was basically, it's like, the sentiment of the name RubbeRoom. Okay. RubbeRoom Breakout. In other words, we was talking about, we put it in a dreamscape. As if you got some inmates in an insane asylum that's about to make a bloody breakout. God, COs, all of them got to go. We getting up out of here. You know what I'm saying? So the song went a little bit deeper than just what we were talking about. That was kind of like a buck against the system, a buck against the powers that be. Mentally lapsed, synapse, skip naps, awake. Patiently I awake as time ticks. My mind slips into dimension 6, brain unstable and able to control my actions. Spread out, give the inmates space before the blowtorch scorch the whole place. Monsters of the midway, bashing through blockades and barricades. They fucked up when they unlocked the cage. Now the animals are loose and we creeping. You can't stop the carnivores when we're feeding. I'm tired of looking at these 4 walls around me, surround me, not jail. My padded cells the same hell. Wishing I was strapped. I'm one less, I'm trapped. But when I find that S, I'm leaving a bloody mess. Wait, I'm the supreme problem solver. Which granted in my hand pops a revolver. Peeping out my window, 2 guards on patrol. I scope one with a gun, now I'm in control. Get the key to my quarters and bring that ass here. Make one false move and poof, you disappear. I make myself clear. Slowly, easy does it. Move too fast, I shoot the skin off your ass. Free at last, but now I'm thinking, should I use this mark? Nah, fuck it, he dead and stinking. Pop, pop, pop is the 9, finger on the trigger. Word born is so I'm free and my niggas fold a fucking breakout. That's what we was talking about right there. A total kick against the powers that be. Lord, forgive me for all that cursing. Sitting on the real. You know, but that's, yeah, man.
You know, it's so interesting, like you was mentioning earlier, you know, in terms of the play on words and the power behind a message, you know, and you know, and if you look at some of the artists today, that seems to be missing a great deal versus years ago, because, you know, when that was the thing that interests a lot of us to even want to get into rap, because of the artists that we were hearing with the messages that they were displaying.
It's powerful.
Yeah, no, the way you can compose words together to, first off, rhyme together, but then secondly, be meaning something at the same time. You're like, wait a minute, you made that word rhyme with that word, and then this means that, and that means this.
Right.
You know, that's like poetry in motion.
Right. And then you got that beat behind it. That's you know, it's a war cry. You know what I'm saying? We did not waste no time with like little trivial rhymes, man. We ain't had no time for that. We felt the world is at stake. And right now, at this very moment in time, I give respect to brothers like J. Cole, to brothers like Kendrick Lamar. Them young brothers make me proud. They make me proud they do hip hop justice. But when I hear words that I've heard 1,000 times about your war stories and about your guns and who you kill and the drugs you push and the women that you nail in bed and all this other stuff, little shorty, back up off me, man, and miss me with all that stuff. You ain't telling me nothing new, youngin'. On the real, your story is recycled. That's all it is. And mind you, you have this beat that's totally hypnotic. And it makes everybody in the world nod their head to it. I've even, you know, it's a guilty pleasure of mine to nod my head to a couple of tunes. I can't help it. Sometimes I'll listen to a cut from The Baby and just would be like, wait a minute, what am I doing? Hey. You know, this dude talking about killing everything that moved, man, on the real, no joke. Let me slow it up. I got to stop myself. I got to watch myself. But see, these youngins don't understand the power in the word. They don't understand that at this very moment in time, that they are leading generations, a whole generation, to ruin. They don't see it. They don't see it. But I bet you they won't let none of their babies listen to none of the stuff they make. If they have children, they won't let none of their children listen to none of their music, because they know that their music is corrupting. It don't build. See, back in the days when you had Poor Righteous Teachers, when you had Paris, the Black Panther of rap, when you had Chris, when you had Rock Kim, the God MC, when you had Chuck D would fight the powers that be, when you had these things, it scared. It scared the CIA. It scared the FBI. It scared the powers that be, because they said, wait a minute. These guys are saying something through this music. Even NWA with F the Police and the day the niggas took over on everything. These brothers was coming with powerful anthems that could move people, that could be the soundtrack to a revolution.
Right.
But they didn't, but they said, oh, we gotta stop that. We gotta stop that. We gotta put a stop on that.
Right.
And we got to big up the ignorance. The ignorance got to be put up above that. Now, man, it's a sad state of affairs. Yeah. Told you I was looking at TV today and I saw Meg Thee Stallion on TV. And she was just doing her thing. And you got young little girls, black, white, brown, red, yellow, don't make a difference what race, culture, or creed. You got these young girls looking at this woman and having crowds applaud her for acting like a whore. I'm going to call it for what it is, and I'm going to keep it a buck. On the real, I wouldn't want my little daughter looking at this girl and thinking this is something she needs. This is a symbol of power. That's a symbol of whoredom. You know what I'm saying? On the real, no joke. You look like a stripper straight up doing your thing on a pole. On the real, this softcore porn they putting on TV. Where the MC Lights at? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Where the Moni Loves at? Where the Queen Latifah's at? You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you this, Meadow. What do you think would be helpful for artists to start doing to kind of change that MO?
For one, they would have to get a pair of nuts the size of King Kong, because all of them are basically sellouts for the almighty dollar, and it's easy. I can't blame them. They throwing millions of dollars in front of these kids' face to talk about shooting guns and killing people and doing all manners of drugs and everything else. And I'm a survivor from the sales of narcotics and the use of narcotics, because I've sold narcotics on them corners. I've tucked the gun inside my waistband. I put the pistol in the bushes. I done sniffed the dope. I done rolled the primos and smoked them. I done been to the joint and all that. You know what I'm saying? And it's nothing to be proud of. But now this mentality has taken a major hold in hip hop now, to whereas that's all hip hop is. The women is talking about how to be a better hoe, and the men is talking about how to be a better killer. And that adds up to a destruction of an entire generation, man. So the powers that be, these media dons and media barons, they know what they're doing. On the real, let them kill themselves. Let's just keep it in the music. The only way that it could possibly be changed would take courage. It'll take the courage of J. Cole's. It'll take the courage of Kendrick Lamar. It would take for these young men to understand the times that we are living in. And I truly and honestly believe, and I hope, that as times become more hard, and they are going to get harder, these are going to be considered the good days. That's how bad it's about to get. People don't understand. They think that they'll never see the day when it's going to be lines around the corner for your grocery stores. That grocery stores ain't going to have no food on their shelves. The gas stations ain't going to have no gas. They ain't going to have no water in some places. They don't think it's going to get that bad. But it is. And the reason why is because you see it on television. They're preparing the world. All the shows, you see the zombie apocalypse, and you see these shows about post-apocalyptic, communities and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And everything. All these shows, They always put it in movies and on TV before it becomes a reality. Remember when Kirk used to have the flip phone and whatnot, Captain Kirk on Star Trek? We thought that was amazing. A flip phone is old now. Throw it out the window. We got smartphones now. It's nothing. Ever since it's on the real, man, this is how it is. So what it's going to take basically is a divine act of prophecy to take place for people to start to change for these guys, these young men to start to understand what's going on. Just as good as Young Thug is behind bars right now. You know what I'm saying? And I also don't like the way that hip hop is going as far as this feminine stuff that's going on. You ain't no way you should be rocking no purse in hip hop.
Yeah.
There ain't no way you should be wearing no damn skirt in hip hop or a dress. You know what I'm saying? What's wrong with you, man? On the real. We ain't gonna let y'all sit back. No disrespect to the LGBT community, but we not gonna sit back and let y'all straight up turn out this culture, man. On the real, they doing it as a disservice right now because they playing big time off of the violence and the drugs and the decadence of hip hop, and it's no longer enlightening. What it's doing is dumbing everyone down and making everyone ignorant and stupid and lustful, man. Real talk. But it would take a divine act of intervention. It's going to take society to break for brothers to start rhyming about what's really going down out here. You know? That's what I believe. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, let's just take a quick little moment to listen to this concluding segment on y'all first album. I always enjoyed this. I'm gonna turn it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the joint. Yeah, boy. That was the joint, boy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ooh-wee.
Hey, man, I just want to say, man, it's amazing that you still have that same energy as back when you guys put that out, bro.
Man, dude, let me tell you, man, on everything I love, buddy, check it out. Yesterday, I'm in the store. I went to go pick me up some kicks, right? And I just so happened to be listening to that very song. I'm going down the aisle and whatnot. You know, I'm looking through the racks and stuff, and I'm like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? Man, me and my crew was dope, man. We was creme de la creme. We ain't play. You know what I'm saying? When our stage show, dude, I look at cats, we would do shows, you know, with brothers. When the Roots were on the bill with us, they would come up from their dressing room and watch us perform. When we was in Houston, they came on stage with us while we performed. My brother Black Thought, Questlove, and man, on the real, no joke, and I admire that brother. His work right now is stupendous. stupendous. That's how it should be, right there on the real. But man, dude, we stalk stages, man. We stalk stages, man. Me and Lumber came out there. No, dude, y'all brothers get their mic and they walk back and forth. They got their Cavassier, you know, they Hennessy and everything. They have drunk and everything and woo woo and all this other stuff. And they just walk back and forth. No, man, me and Lumber come out there like, boom, 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 boom. Dude, on the real, dude, what is you talking about? You know what I'm saying? On the real. You know, we come out there like monsters, man. You know, you gon' man, we stalk stages on the real, on everything. That's how it had to be. One time I remember we did a show. And we had this cut called Stacks and Stacks of 45s.
Yes, sir.
And it said, boom, 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 boom. And everybody in the crowd was like getting ready. And he said, stacks and stacks of 45s, and everybody just went bananas. The promoter came and snatched the plug out. He said, y'all are not about to tear up my club. It's not gonna happen today. Yeah. No joke, man. And people would come and tell me, they'd be like, man, dude, your music's be making me want to sometimes throw stuff, breaks, you know, kick a hole in a wall, you know what I'm saying, on the real, because man, we always thought, dude, if you're gonna do it, you want to say some powerful stuff behind some music, behind some tracks that punch you in the face. Yep. We wanna kick you in the throat. You know what I mean? Straight up, Duke. You come to one man, Duke on the real. We ain't got no time to play, man. We ain't got no time to play lyrically. We ain't got no time to play with beats or nothing. And we wasn't trying to sound like none of them.
Right.
None of them. Man, Duke on the real. This is Chicago. This is how Chicago do it on the real, straight up. You want to get one of your underground groups, put us up against Duke on the real. We wipe the floor with you, man, on the real. No joke. We would do shows with major acts who would come slipping. See, guys would make that mistake. Oh, it's Chicago, dude. Okay. Yeah, they open it up for us. Next thing you know, yeah, we get on stage. Now the heat is on. I could remember a show or two with J. Rue the Damager one time to prove that very point. Next thing you know, he ends up kind of cursing out the crowd and stuff like that. No, dude, they came here to see you. The problem was, you ain't understand the intensity of the opening act that was coming. Right. On the real, straight up, man. And it's like, you know, dude, I be seeing dudes say shows and I be seeing they stuff, man. Duke on the real, no joke, y'all suck. They sucked. They sucked and they suck some more. Plain and simple. I need to see power when I see Busta Rhymes perform. That dude, you know, the power, you know what I'm saying? On real, he come off. I remember seeing Busta a couple of times, man. I remember when I seen Busta, one time I seen Busta at Red Dog on top of the entrance where you come in through the door. He was on top of that, going bananas. He was going bananas. I'm like, whoa. You know, I'm hollering at, when he got done, I'm hollering at this dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, his energy was so incredible. And that is what you want to relay. Dude, stop trying to be so doggone cool. The problem is, your stage show sucks. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have a stage show. You have to have a presence. People would see me on stage and I'm out there like I'm Zach De La Roca from Rage Against the Machine, because that's how it affected me. Until this very day, right now, no joke, by some means, I don't know why, but God kept me in some kind of physical condition to still be able to express that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's a blessing by all means. I must have been called to do something because he's kind of preserved me. You know what I'm saying? people see me and they say, Mo, what are you, a vampire? You know what I'm saying? You know, dude, you don't look like you aged a day from back then. You know what I'm saying? They say, if it wasn't for your grades right here, dude, I wouldn't even, what is you doing? I said, man, you don't want to do the stuff I did, man. I don't know why. You don't want to do the stuff I did, Jack. It might not work with you. You know what I'm saying? It's the elixir of the gods on the real, man. And I truly and honestly believe, by all means, that God has something intended. He's intended me to do something in some kind of level, in some kind of way, because he's preserved me, man, through the massive amount of drugs that I did. You know, and I want to say something about that too. The younger ones basically nowadays, man, are basically entering a phase and a stage, and they're making it cool just basically, even though back in the days you had Wu-Tang talk about, you know, they start off a song and sniffing coke and stuff like that, you know what I mean, and all this other stuff. But now it's to the point to whereas it's so deadly.
Mm-hmm.
It's deadly, man. It is a deadly, wicked game. It truly is. And fentanyl and all of the opioids and all of these other things that these guys promote in their music is killing a generation of kids that have no idea that they'll eventually become drug addicts, and it will stick with them for years to come. Hip hop is really powerful, man. I used to sell dope and sniff it on the corners, dude, on the real, listening to some serious street stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? On the real, it was the soundtrack to my life at that particular moment in time. And I think that a lot of the younger people right now, you know, no one's an angel. You know what I'm saying? No one's a saint. And we all have to tell our story, regardless of how gritty and how hard it is. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop ain't ever been no down in the valley where the green grass grow. Right. True indeed. But the thing is this, man, if you're going to tell your story about your pain, about the hell of the streets, and it is hell. It is brimstone personified, man. It's pistols, drugs, guns, and death, man. That's what it is. And if you're going to tell that story, man, tell it with some sort of responsibility, because you sit back from your lofty perch, you know what I'm saying, from your high tower and everything else, and you tell these stories of the streets and everything, but you are far away from it right now. You are somewhere in a mansion in Bel Air, and you steady talking about grimy, gritty stuff. You know what I mean? But then you want to be stupid enough to still try to have something to do with that, and that's where you got the young thugs. This man is about to do some time, dude. He about to do some time, and everything and all that's over. Like Triple X, what's his name? Triple X, the kid who died, who overdosed.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, oh, no, who got killed? I think he got killed. Didn't he get murdered or something like that?
I think I'm not really sure, but
Extension, and then you got the kid from Chicago who was incredible.
Yeah.
Well, what was his name? Who overdosed?
Man, I can't think of his name right now.
I forgot his name, but that kid, I heard him on what's her name's show. Dude who be doing the freestyles and everything else, and he was dope. Right. He was dope. And I seen him one day freestyle, and I looked at him, and I just said, man, he just got through from doing a couple bags, boy. I'm looking at him, and I could tell, because I've lived that, I've done that, you know? I just want these youngins to understand, dude, you're playing for real high stakes. It's a lot of money. And it's a lot of decadence. And you can best believe the devil stands there with his arms folded. Like, yeah, come on, let's go. Let's take this trip. You know what I'm saying? Down Sunset Boulevard in your Ferrari. Let's go. You know? It's like that.
Yeah.
Hip hop is powerful. You get on stage and you rock a mic and you come off a god. You got everything there. You got any woman you can get. You got any drug you want. You got everything at your disposal. But boy, oh boy, when the piper comes to get paid, it ain't nothing nice. Ain't nothing nice, Jack.
Hey, so in conclusion, tell the viewers what you got going on currently today. I see you got some artwork in the background.
Yes, I do art. I love to paint. It's therapeutic for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it also, you know what I mean? It's just another aspect of my artistry, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll always continue to do that henceforth, man. I put on some Miles Davis or some John Coltrane, Equinox, and I get down, man, on the real awesome, or some Led Zeppelin, you know what I'm saying, or something like that, and I do my thing, and it relaxes me, man.
Nice.
And it puts me in contact with God. You know what I'm saying? On the real, puts me in contact with God, because God put us here to create beautiful things, not destruction.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And outside of that, because so many people basically want to hear something else from RubbeRoom or its affiliates.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm basically doing, I'm with my mans, Kevin Johnson, Phantom, aka Mr. Echoes, and my man, Isle of Weight, Mr. Aaron Smith. And like I said, I talked to Lumber today, Mr. Blackwood, and he's talking about coming out of retirement.
Nice.
But I'm working on an EP, and equipped with videos and all of that. It's going to be amazing. So for all the people who basically love RubbeRoom and everything else, even though it may not be the entire, you know what I mean, the entire collective, you're going to have something from me, from the Wolf, from Meta Moses, on the real. And we're going to put something out that's totally banging. I also am in building with my man Sean Dervis, a DJ from Chicago, very well-known DJ who makes incredible beats. He probably wants to punch me in the face right now because he's given me a nice selection of beats, and I wrote to those beats. I haven't gotten in contact with him. I've been rather busy as of late, you know. But yeah, that's also a side, project as well. And like I said, I talked to Lumber today. He's definitely going to make a guest appearance on this EP that me and Mr. Echoes from the Opus, that we're working on and everything. And I think it's going to be very well received. And basically, who knows? Y'all might end up hearing another RubbeRoom effort.
Nice.
And if that happens, you know what I'm saying? On the real, no joke. I mean, like, yo, I'm getting back in the gym and everything. I'll kick the cigarettes and stuff like that, because when I drop these things and I do shows, I want to sound as if it was back then, and I want to move as if it was back then. I don't want y'all to see some fat version of Meta Moses. On the real, I want y'all to see me looking like a god. You know what I'm saying? Straight up like, bow. You know what I'm saying? Even better than that. And have it cut, chiseled, and had a voice of a thunderbolt coming from the clouds, man, on the real. And saying the things that need to be said right now, but doing it with such elegance and such brutality at the same time that is going to blow their minds. They never know how to take Chicago because we're so awesome. You know what I'm saying?
Well, listen, man, I want to thank you for taking the time out to
Most stuff.
share just a part of your story. It's we could never get
Yeah,
it all in one segment, but you know what I'm
indeed.
saying. But one thing for sure is, man, you guys have put in some work over the years, and
Hmm.
we're definitely cementing our legacy. Like you said, we're sharing and putting our stories out for people to, if they wasn't there to see it in person at the time it was
Hmm.
happening, they can go back now and kind of pick up and it's almost like a library. You go into the library, and even though you wasn't there during the time the incident occurred, but you can get the book.
Exactly.
You can get the book and read about it,
You
or
know what I'm saying?
you can get the documentary and watch. You know,
Exactly. You can get the dee. Modern technology is amazing. I mean,
yeah,
it's incredible. I mean, like, hey, man, you know what I'm saying? What can't you know? That's
yeah,
why I say, hey, it's no excuse for being stupid or uninformed nowadays. Not
yeah,
when you have a plethora of information at your disposal when it comes to your fingertips. That's ridiculous. That's insane. That's a sign of laziness and utter stupidity. You
yeah,
want to be stupid if you
yeah.
can't be smart or well read or know things nowadays, because it's all right there for you. All you got to do is press a button, man. That's it, Daddy-O.
Hey, let me
You
ask you:
know?
have you ever did any kind of broadcasting work with your voice?
No, I haven't. And you know what, dude? it's like everybody and their mama. Basically, they tell me, they say, "Yo, Mo, man, you need to, man, dude, you could do voiceover work. You could be the voice for Spawn, or you could do so many things." And
Yeah.
see, at this point in time in my life, I honestly and truthfully think that that God Almighty, and God figures very heavily into my life right now.
Hmm.
Jesus is amazing. He's saved me. I truly and honestly believe that if I would have gotten famous back then and there, we were at the doorstep to fame and fortune, but I think he pulled me back because he knew that I would have possibly died. They would have found me somewhere like Heath Ledger, man, and it wouldn't have been pretty. On the
Hmm.
real. And it would have been some prostitute, high price call girl that would tell my story. It would have been horrible. It would have been terrible. Jeez Louise. But yeah, man. I mean, I'm so many people tell me these things in regards to me doing something in regards to voiceover work and stuff like that, and everything else. And I'm gonna pursue a couple of things, but whatever I do, I definitely will let the world know that he is coming and that the devil is here, and to duck when death swings his scythe,
Hmm.
because it's here. And the day of reckoning is upon us, man. So whenever you hear me talking, whenever you hear me doing rhyme or whatever, if you expecting that booty clapper music and that stripper pole music, you might as well go down the street, man, because you ain't gonna get none of that here. We be gods over here. You know what I'm saying? That's how
Hmm.
we build. And I call Chicago, I don't call it Shot. For anybody who hear this, there ain't no more Shot Town. That country ass stuff. Get that out of here. This is the windy, man. We wind over here. We hawks over here. Real talk. This is the whiz. You
Okay.
know what I'm
Got it.
saying? This is Emerald City. This is the whiz here. This is what we do. This is Chicago. Plain and simple. Shot town, pow, get that out of here, man. On the real, this is the whiz. We hawks over here. That's how we build. This is Indus, land of where the gods do battle. Indus. You know what I'm saying? That's how we build, man. On the
That's
real,
what's
it's
up.
about power. So whenever you hear me or you hear my voice, you're gonna know it's me. And I'm about to do a lot of things, man, all in the name of God. Laying down some rods, man. Trying to help these youngins, school them, man, on the real, for them not to go down that dangerous path, man, of destruction, man. It'll kill them all. I
Yeah.
want them to die, man, on the real. I like the
Yeah.
shorties. They all right. Just a little violent,
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
on the
listen,
real.
man. We are out of time, but it's been great.
Mm-hmm.
It's always a pleasure and an honor to speak with any of our Chicagoans, man. Like you say, coming from the Windy City, you know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
And anybody that's been living here for any length of time know that our winters are not pleasant. Our winters have always been brutal.
Oh, man. Man, you get 4 seasons in one day in Chicago, man. You gotta be made of something tough to come from here. They say if you can't make it in New York, if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. Man, get out of here, man. What are you talking about? Everything in New York, a fashion industry, music industry, entertainment. Everything. If you can't make it in New York, you a dummy. If you can make it in Chicago, you can make it anywhere.
Right.
No joke. That's where that should be mixed up. Oh, come on, man.
Yeah.
You make it from here?
Yeah.
Trust me, you can make it anywhere, man. And that's on everything.
There you have it. There
you have it right there. Fresh Fridays, man. Come on back and visit my man. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Share, like, and all those, push all those buttons and all that other stuff you have to do. But make sure that you come back.
That's what's up.
Know what I'm saying? Fresh Fridays in effect, baby. You know what I mean?
My brother Mo, man. It's been an honor and a privilege, and we will be in touch with you, and we'll definitely keep in tune. And hey, man, look forward to whatever current projects and future projects that you got coming around.
Most definitely. When they dropping everything and we do whatever we do, I'll definitely be letting you know, and we'll do this again. It's been a pleasure. It's been a blast, man.
Thank you, my brother.
All right,
my man. Take care.
Good money, man.
You enjoy the rest of your night.
Good money, man. We be gods over here. All right?
One love.
Real talk. One love, baby.
Peace.
All right. Good stuff, man. Good stuff.